Where you fight, anger's your biggest tool. Fighting angry, that drains you twice as fast. Yeah, the guy in the ring is your enemy, but if all you're trying to do is kill him, then you expose yourself. You leave yourself vulnerable. Gotta protect yourself. Make his mistakes be his destruction. Right now,
Welcome back, everybody, to the Film Bros Podcast. My name is Isaiah Lucas, and I'm joined by my co-hosts,
Abraham
and Nick.
How y'all doing tonight?
I'm good.
I'm doing good, man. Took a rest. Memorial Day's feeling great.
Yeah.
Loving
Yes,
it.
sir. Exactly. It was a nice, relaxing day
Yeah.
today. Or at least for me, it was.
Yeah, a little bit of a fire here and there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a fire that's happening in our town right now.
Yeah.
Like a block away from where we live.
Yeah,
No
seriously.
evacuations yet, but
Yeah. Dude, regardless of any order that's going to happen, bro, we're still recording, bro.
yeah.
True. You're hear sirens all day, all night.
We're pumping this stuff out.
Yeah, we'll talk over them. We'll be like, oh, what's going on?
Just get louder.
Just get louder,
Yeah,
man.
we start screaming to the mic like this.
But yeah, it's been a nice, relaxing day. The weather's been great. So
Yeah.
The weather was really nice today, actually.
yeah, it was nice to sit in our living room and have the
windows.
Yeah, have the windows open. And
We
just
did
sit
that
there and
yesterday,
just-
too. We watched a movie in there yesterday, and
Mhm.
having the windows open, it was just super nice. So I think this whole past weekend, was super nice.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was a nice time. But I did that same thing today with the movie that we're going to be talking about, which
Heck
is
yeah.
was Abe's pick.
Yeah, I chose the 2015 movie Southpaw. It is directed by Antoine Fuqua and written by Kurt Sutter,
Mm-hmm.
and it stars my boy Jake Gyllenhaal.
Your boy,
Yes, sir.
man.
And it's basically about a boxer who's undefeated and goes through some hard stuff and basically tries to find himself again.
Mm-hmm.
And basically that's it.
Yeah.
There's just some very difficult things that he goes through.
Yep.
And I feel like I say too much, it's already gonna tell the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you didn't cry to this movie, you don't have a soul.
I didn't cry.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I've heard people say that. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not going to age well. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe when it first came out and you're like, I never would have expected that.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, 1 out of 1,000. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Pretty par for the course.
yeah.
Yeah. But I mean,
Unfortunately, it's not streaming anymore, so you do have to rent it.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I rented it on Vudu.
I did it on
Was it
Apple.
cheaper there? Because I did it on Apple. It was
No.
$4.
I was gonna do it on Apple, but they wanted me to type my password in again, and I was like, "No, I'm not doing that." So I straight up went to Vudu.
I don't blame you, dude.
Yeah, I just rented it off of Apple.
But yeah, I rented it off of Vudu, watched it, and it was the first time that I've ever watched this movie. I don't know about you. Nick,
I think it's
or
like the
Abraham.
third time I've seen it.
Yeah, I think this would be my second
Okay.
time watching it. It's been so long, though, that I just...
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it, and now
Okay.
I'm rewatching it. I'm just like, dang.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Antoine Fuqua, that should sound familiar to
Yeah,
the viewers, listeners, and all that.
Yeah, we've done 2 of his movies
I
now.
know.
We've done one
Yeah.
on Training Day, and then we've also done one on End of Watch.
No, and Sicario, I think. No, that's
No.
Danny
no,
Villeneuve.
yeah,
Sicario is not.
yeah.
For some reason, I thought Sicario.
Yeah, Antoine Fuqua has done a couple other movies. Like I think the other one I'm thinking of immediately off the top of my head is The Equalizer.
Yeah, Denzel Washington.
Yeah, he has this. I saw on Letterboxd today. I was looking around, and somebody said that Antoine Fuqua makes what's called a movie, and it's the type of movie where your mom will put it on in the background while she's folding laundry on a Sunday, and like barely pay attention to it, and be like, "Oh man, that was great." And then, like, so I thought that was kind of funny,
Oh,
like
okay.
hearing his filmography kind of get classified as that, because as soon as I read that, I was kind of like, that makes a lot of sense, dude. Like,
Yeah, thinking about his other movies, I wasn't. I mean, they're good.
Olympus Has Fallen.
They're not. They don't blow me out of the water though.
Yeah.
It's not somewhere where I'm like, yo, you saw End of Watch.
Yeah.
Like it's. You think fondly of it, but you're never. It never kind of sticks in your mind.
Dude,
It's
you know
kinda
what
just-
he's done a lot of? It's music videos. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense in regards to this movie.
Yeah. And you know what? You just said he did Olympus Has Fallen.
Yeah.
I think that sums up that argument perfectly.
A
Like
movie.
the movie.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's making, he's trying to make blockbusters.
Yeah.
Like he's going in with. Didn't he just recently do that movie? Or no, that was Michael Bay that did Ambulance.
Yeah. Ambulance. Yeah.
I don't even wanna watch it.
Ambulance.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Where
even
the ambulance?
call the ambulance.
Oh, he did. Did he do The Guilty?
Um,
Another Jake Gyllenhaal movie?
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did.
Antoine
Yeah.
Fuqua. That movie was, again, a movie. Like
Yeah.
The
it didn't really
Guilty.
blow me out of the water.
Which one's that one?
That's the one
where
where
he's the 911 dispatcher.
Oh,
911
oh
dispatch,
My
he's like-
gosh.
it's
I
got that
watched
big
movie.
twist at the
Yeah, I
end.
watched that movie and I was like, gosh dang it, man.
I wanted to absolutely fall in love with it, but
It was hard to.
it was hard. I feel like he always makes a few decisions that just take it down a few notches. Where I'm
Yeah.
just like, it could have been.
He'd be putting out some mid.
It could have been. You know what I mean?
like Ambulance, I for sure, I haven't seen it, but I know it's going to be mid.
Yeah, it's
And I don't want to watch it, and I love Jake Gyllenhaal. You guys know that.
Again, it's another Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
yeah.
He's got
range. He's got versatility.
Yeah.
Because you know what's insane is, wasn't it in 2014 he did Nightcrawler?
Yeah, so Nightcrawler was
He
literally before this movie.
Yeah, he did Nightcrawler and then went to a movie like this.
and he's ripped
Yeah.
beyond
He only
belief.
had to gain. That's a fact.
Yeah, and it's crazy because he had
Yeah.
to lose how much pounds? Like what, 30?
40.
40
He
pounds?
lost 40 pounds
Yeah.
to be that
look
like
gaunt.
ghost, almost like a ghoul.
Yeah,
you know?
he describes it as like a coyote.
Like
for
yeah.
Nightcrawler. He's like, I wanted this character to be like this coyote, like
Bro,
fiend type figure.
I also hear Nightcrawler now, and this is weird. It shows up on my Instagram feed. It's a T-shirt that says Fresno Nightcrawler,
Oh.
and it's literally like
yeah, it's
like
the
that alien
cryptid.
thing, and I'm like, I think of Nightcrawler, and that's what I think of now because I see it
Okay.
so much on my feed.
Yeah,
But yeah, he transforms himself.
But he has range though.
yeah, he does. Yeah, and that's one thing that I do applaud Jake Gyllenhaal for is like he takes roles that, will stretch out what he can do,
Yeah.
stylistically and
100%.
acting wise. And this is one of those movies where I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
he could get ripped. He could be a boxer.
I've never seen him not give 100%.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I enjoy his movies. That's one of the things I enjoy about movies that he's in.
Mm-hmm.
Better way I should have said that. But I don't know. Sometimes he chooses to pick with direct, work with directors, and I'm kind of like, what was your thought process here? Or like I can't fault him for not doing a great job because Jake Gyllenhaal consistently puts out great.
Always 100% effort.
Exactly. He continues to put out great content acting wise,
Yeah.
regardless of like the writing falls short or the directing falls short or
Yeah.
something like that. There's always something where you could be like, hey, but Jake Gyllenhaal did great though.
But
I'm-
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Just real
Yeah.
quick, Jake Gyllenhaal went from 2013 with Prisoners to
Wow.
Nightcrawler to this.
Yeah. That's a
That's
range,
insane.
man.
That is
It's a
range.
big range.
Because I think I look at him in Prisoners, and he's a little bulky in
I
that.
thought he was bulky. So he
Yeah.
bulked and then shrunk and then bulked?
Yeah.
Dude.
That's gotta be some wear and tear on your
He's like,
body,
he's
dude.
like my man Christian Bale.
Yeah. Oh, don't even get me
Bro.
started about like method acting,
Yeah.
getting into roles, dude. That dude's crazy.
Yeah, I love Christian Bale.
Gore the God Butcher.
Yeah. But let's get into this.
Yeah,
man.
let's get it.
So-
Let's focus on Southpaw.
Yeah, so like we said, this movie is for rent. So if you haven't already seen it, if you want a refresher, check it out wherever you want to rent movies. I believe it's like $4. And then tell us what you think. We will get into some spoilers here. This is a very spoiler-heavy movie, so if you haven't seen it, want a refresher, go check it out, come back, or if you don't care about spoilers, continue listening.
Mhm.
But Abraham, since this was your pick, do you want to start us off with your first favorite scene?
I feel like you guys should go because my first favorite scene is quite into the movie.
Okay.
So I had skipped a little bit just because I feel like I always choose the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't want to do that this time.
Okay.
Don't get me
Mm.
wrong, I like the beginning of the movie.
Mhm.
I just wanted to do something different, so I didn't choose it.
Yeah. I enjoy my first favorite scene is like the actual first fight.
Yeah.
we get to watch.
It's not like
It's not him getting ready and
No.
listening to the music or whatever. But I actually enjoy watching the first fight because it feels like I'm really watching boxing.
Yeah.
Like some of the camera work where like it's like, there's a camera way up here and you're watching. It feels like I am watching a
Right
pay-per-view
there.
fight.
Mm-hmm.
and I really enjoyed the intensity behind
Yeah.
it. I immediately was asking myself the whole time whenever they were fighting, I was like, dude, put your hands up. Like the whole time he's just eating these things, and I was like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Dude? You're just getting punched. Like, just, like put them up, bro.
Yeah.
It looks like he's always going.
Yeah.
But that's the one thing I did like about the intro scene was the sound design here.
Yeah.
Every punch you could
You
feel
hear
it.
it.
You hear that? Like,
Yeah. And they do it to where, they put water all over him, so when he gets punched, you see
the
the
spray.
water spray
and that's
off
how it is when you actually watch a real pay-per-view fight too.
Yeah. You see
It's
that
just-
sweat.
You see that sweat fly off of
Yeah.
them.
blood.
I think this is a little exaggerated, though, because I feel like they have unlimited stamina.
Yeah, especially for them to be in like was it like round
Round
10?
10.
Yeah, and they're just going.
Yeah.
All the boxing matches I've seen, they're kind of sluggish at the end.
they're done. They're tired.
They're majority defense and like one or two jabs.
yeah.
But it's just like, let's just like wear the clock out. But this
Yeah.
is they're
going
just
at
took
it.
a 5-hour energy and they're going in.
Yeah. Seriously.
But I do like it. It felt visceral and it set us up for, what we're expecting. It's a boxing movie, and I think starting with that is good because if they can get the boxing feeling good,
Yeah.
then the rest of the movie should kind of line up with what they set it up as. Because
Exactly.
if you have a boxing movie and it sucks, like the boxing sucks,
And I'm kind of like, what am I here for?
what am I here for? This sucks. Like right off the rip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also love towards the end of the fight whenever Billy, who Jake Gyllenhaal plays, rocks his opponent, dude.
Which one?
Like Jones, the first
charity fight?
Yeah, no, the first fight.
It's his
that-
43rd win in a row or something like
Yeah,
that.
whenever we're getting introduced and that whole fight is
Oh,
happening,
okay.
and he rocks homie.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, that looked like it was tough, and it looked real, which was really good on like the fight choreography.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved just Jake's tenacity in the ring and him like getting hyped and screaming and stuff
Mhm.
like that and everything, and it was fun to kind of sit there and be like,
Mm.
oh man, I feel like I'm watching pay-per-view.
Yeah.
He's really good at playing unhinged characters.
Oh yeah,
Because in this, his whole shtick is like the more angry he gets, the better he is in the ring.
yeah,
So he I feel like he kind of just lets himself get kind of beat up so he can build that rage up and then go
Yeah.
in at the very end.
He thinks
Honestly,
he's
if
the
it
Hulk.
worked like that, I just had to tell people, man, tell me something I don't like about me, and then I just get mad.
But he's straight up like, you can see it. He's got his little mouth guard and he's bloody and he's just screaming and
Yeah.
like hyping himself up.
yeah. He's all flexing hecka hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, and he's got
He's
the way
yoked.
the lighting is too, every muscle is defined.
Yeah,
Everything works in his favor here.
yeah.
Mhm.
Seriously,
He's very intimidating. I would not want to go up against this fool.
yeah, for real. But yeah, that's my first favorite scene.
Okay. So
Keep on going. Mine's not until I want to say 30 minutes in.
so he ends up winning this fight, and he, as he's getting his accepting speech at the very end, a guy calls him out. He's basically saying like, "Hey, you haven't fought me yet. That means you haven't had a real fight." And they're
Yeah.
kind of bickering back and forth, and we get a feeling that this guy is going to be like this is his main opponent. This is going to be the villain, the one he has to go up against at the end, right? So he's kind of who we should keep in the back of our minds. But he goes on, he meets with his wife and his kids, and then we get introduced to them. They go to this fundraiser thing. I think it's for, I can't remember the
It's-
organizations, for kids.
It's for, what's it called?
I'm pretty sure it was for like
It's for where he came up from. It's
yeah,
the,
child
a child.
services.
Does that mean
like-
he's an orphan?
No, so they both grew up in the system, so they're
Yeah.
foster care children.
Oh, foster. Okay. Yeah. So the reason it's my favorite scene is just because of the speech. I feel like it feels so genuinely like the character. It feels like the character is so genuine here. He gets up there and he's a little nervous, and he has this like little piece of paper. And he's not really eloquent with his speech, so he's sitting there going like, he's mumbling a little bit, and he gets really heartfelt, saying like, "I wouldn't be here without my wife," and he points to Rachel McAdams' character. Her name is
Maureen.
Maureen.
Yeah, Maureen Hope, and she starts crying a little bit, and he ends up. He put his Billy Hope flair on the end of it, where he goes, you guys have your fancy suits, your fancy dresses, fancy car, your fancy hair, all that money. give that to us.
Yeah.
Like, he
just give it to us and like
yeah.
give us that money.
It just
Yeah.
felt so very genuine to his character.
Yeah.
I was like, this is how a boxer would speak.
Yeah.
And it felt still like wholesome and genuine. Even though it was really brash, it was like, this is the best he can do.
And
Yeah.
it's funny to see because about like 2 minutes before that scene, you see him in his house and getting ready for that event, and he's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to like.
Yeah, he's like,
I want
And
to tell them about my life.
yeah, like as a boxer, I feel like you don't want to put on that front that you like, that you're not strong. Because I feel like maybe that's what he was thinking
Mm.
while writing that.
yeah.
But then seeing that scene, he's just like, this is what I grew up from. This is my life,
Mm-hmm.
and I liked it too. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So I kind of lump that in with the bro moment / favorite scene, which is when, all the stuff kind of hits the fan.
Yeah.
And it sucks how it starts too, because this is one of his biggest character flaws is shining through right here. They're literally about to leave. Everything was fine. He has his whole posse. They're about to leave, and of course the villain. Forget his name. It's
His name's
It's
Miguel.
Miguel
Escobar,
Escobar.
but they call him Magic. It's his
Oh,
nickname.
Magic.
Miguel Magic Escobar.
yeah.
is
So
his
I'm
name.
I'll call him Magic. Magic is there at the very end, and
He straight up goes, "Watch this." That's what I don't like.
Yeah. Oh, he knows exactly what to say to rile Billy up too,
Yeah.
because he says, "Oh, what do I gotta like mess with your?" He calls her the B word,
Yeah.
too, just so I can get to fight with you. And he straight up he stops moving, and you're like, "Oh shoot, what's gonna
Yeah.
happen?" And all the whole time, Maureen is like, "Stop, let's go, come on, we don't need this. Like, let's just go home. Come on."
Yeah.
And he straight up turns around and just, whop, 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 and
Yeah.
they get down,
They start fighting.
and a gun goes off.
Yeah, and
So,
that's
this is a question that I was gonna ask you. Was who do you think shot her?
It's one of Magic's men.
Magic's homeboys.
Yeah.
Well, yes, but
Because he
it
hides
show-
that gun real quick.
Yes, but it shows one of Billy's persons pull out a gun when the bullet goes off as well.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
they
and
did a little switcheroo thing because he pulls it out, but you can hear the gun go off before he really does anything.
Yeah, and I think also he has his back turned towards her. I think if we're looking at like in context of where the characters were at,
Mm-hmm.
his back was turned to her. I'm pretty sure.
Mm.
And then the only reason why, because I immediately thought, they get you with the little, oh man, he's the guy that did it, accidentally went off and shot,
Yeah.
Maureen. But whenever we see, he's like, man, what did I tell you? And Magic goes over and he's like, grabs it real quick and puts it in his,
That's when I
in
was
his
like,
pants. I was like, oh, it was his man.
Yeah.
And that's where we get the start of the tragedy
Mhm.
for our character Billy, whose wife dies in his arms.
yeah, that, and
Which
I
is
will
probably
say,
the most tragic thing you can go through.
you didn't cry at this moment.
No,
I really I felt emotion at this part.
I was sad, but I was just like, dang, dude. I just can't imagine myself I don't want to imagine myself putting myself in those shoes
Yeah.
Okay.
where I'm gonna hold my significant other and they're dying in my hands, in
Mm.
my arms. Like, I can't imagine that.
I don't know. It got to me.
Yeah.
He was just trying to reassure her, like, "Oh, you want to go home? We'll go home. We'll go home. It's okay. Just go. It's okay." And then, like, as
she goes, Layla.
as she passes, he straight up goes. It got me really sad because he's like, "No, not yet, not yet." And he's like
Yeah.
holding her and going in, and I was like, "Gosh, that sucks."
Yeah.
I forgot how like gut wrenching this part of the movie is.
Yeah. One of the things that kind of took me out on that part was some of the camera work
Oh, you didn't like it?
was kind of strange because like they showed it like vertically. Like imagine so like that it's being filmed and it's like this like off the like it's on someone's shoulder and it's being moved around and stuff.
But
and
they showed
everything.
it like this instead of like this.
So they flipped it. Like it was like they're doing this and then they go.
Oh,
And-
really?
Yeah, and I was like
do you think it's to get like her whole body?
yeah,
Oh,
kind
probably.
of. And it was strange. I don't know. I saw it and I was kind of like I was kind of strange. It was weird.
Yeah.
And it took me out of the moment a little
Yeah.
bit and I was kind of like, "Oh,
Dang.
man." But and then another thing was his homie.
Dude, his homie crying.
Yeah, his
Oh
homie
my
crying
gosh.
going
yeah.
I was like, "All right." Like,
He was one of the ride or dies though.
yeah.
He
He's like,
was.
"I'm not here for the money."
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the scenes I wanted to bring up though.
Okay. Well, next favorite scene.
My next favorite scene is when Layla's in the foster care already. So I don't know if you got anything before that. It's his first time after the court. he's gonna go to visit her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's you.
Is
man.
that? Do you have anything before?
No.
Okay, so a little context to the scene is he loses everything. Essentially, his money's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, tragedy. You're not gonna do anything. Like, what can you do? So he loses his house, loses his car. He's basically bankrupt, has no money. And essentially, what caused this was did he crash himself? Like,
Yeah, he did it himself. I think he was just like angry.
yeah.
And
I
my
just didn't
immediate
know.
my immediate thought was he's gonna crash into the house.
That's what I thought too.
I thought he was gonna like slam into the house, but he just like slams head on into a tree.
So he slams on head onto a tree, and then he goes to the hospital. Layla is asleep by herself. She comes, finds him, calls 911, and in that hospital scene, you see a bunch of paramedics, a bunch of cops, and the cops in the background are saying, "We found you. You were under the influence. You had a loaded gun, and your daughter was there was no parent or guardian with a daughter. She's safe right now with
Like social services. or
social
something.
services." And he's like, and he's freaking out.
Dude, I was so frustrated too because he straight up has like an IV drip. He's literally like
they're trying to help
hooked
him.
up.
They're trying
And he's
to
just
help
like,
him.
no, ripping it all out. I was like, dude, just, you can't do anything. You're
Yeah.
literally being apprehended by 5 cops. Like, just stop. Know when you're done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then from that scene, it leads us into a court scene where obviously they haven't seen each other for, I would assume, like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
I want to say. And he literally gets up and he goes, Layla, like they want to rush each other. And what breaks my heart here is literally the cop is holding her back.
Yeah.
Like, at least let him hug.
Yes. Is that against?
I think it's, no, but I think it actually works like that.
Yeah.
Why?
Pretty sure.
That doesn't make sense.
I'm not entirely sure.
But I think that's how it is.
But I am fairly certain that
I would believe that's how it is, but I was like,
That sucks. I
like,
mean,
just let him hug for a second. I mean, that's literally his daughter. And she
Yeah.
was wanting to hug him too. It's not like he's like,
Yeah.
give me a hug,
Yeah.
ripping her away.
So they do that, and the judge is like you're not fit. You're not a fit parent right now. Like, she's gonna be under the care of social services, and it's 30 days, and then to prove that she's capable, so he has to go to anger management. I think it was.
He has to go to anger management, like sobriety classes.
Yeah, sobriety. That's the word I was looking for. I couldn't think of it.
And he has to hold a job.
Yeah.
Yes,
and-
to prove. I mean, the
Yeah.
essential things to prove that you're a parent.
Yeah.
To prove that you're responsible
Yeah,
enough.
exactly. And so he goes to visit her for the first day after this, and is asking some questions. The social worker is, and this is where it comes to my favorite scene, is he's just saying some stupid stuff. He looks like he's under the influence. I want to say he looks like it. And she's writing everything down, making sure he's okay to see her. And my favorite part of the scene was, are you under the influence of any drugs? And he goes, I took some Advil. And then she starts writing it down and looks at her and mocks, and he goes, he took some Advil. I can't see my effing daughter.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, you writing that down? He took some Advil." Yeah.
And I just thought it was funny because he's mocking her, and like, obviously he thinks he's fit, but I don't think he's fit at that time
Yeah.
still.
Well, yeah. I mean, and one of the things I think, because I work with social
Yeah.
services, so
So
one of the things that I think was portrayed very accurately was Jake Gyllenhaal's reluctancy to participate. Because I mean, you put yourself in that situation. You just got your child taken from you. You're very pissed. You think, these people I'm angry at them because they did this to me, and they're refusing to accept the responsibility of their actions.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they do is they just lash out, and it's not that they're angry at the people; they're angry at their situation.
Yeah.
And I think that Jake Gyllenhaal does that tremendously throughout this movie, especially in that first half, because the whole time he's just like,
I want to see my
angry.
daughter.
I want to see my daughter. I want to see my kid. I don't care. Like all this stuff, and I've dealt with that, and I've seen it firsthand. I thought it was done pretty accurately. So
For sure. Yeah.
That's it for my scene.
Okay.
Okay.
I have my next one is it's the fight after he gets introduced to, I think his name is Tick, right?
Yeah, so that's actually my
it's
next.
the charity
scene.
fight.
The charity fight. That's my next one, and
That's
I
mine as well.
okay. Let's talk about this.
My
Open
scene
it
is
up.
getting introduced to Tick though.
Okay. Yeah. Talk. So
okay.
who is Tick?
Tick is Forrest Whitaker.
Yes.
I don't remember Tick's last name. It says it, but I don't remember it.
Oh, I think I had written it down.
Okay.
Tick Wills.
Tick Wills.
Yeah, he's
because
the
it's
Wills,
Will's
gym.
gym.
Yeah.
Yes. So we get right after that scene, my scene. One of his ride or die buddies picks him up and takes him in. Like you said, he was never there for the money. He was there. They grew up together in the foster system.
Yeah.
So that's how they know each other, and I mean they're sticking close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So he drops him off at Will's gym, excuse me, and he's just sitting there, and you see Forrest Whitaker's character working with some other kids, and immediately you think, I'm like, oh, that's a gym for people who are in the foster system or just need a place to be safe.
Yeah.
Which I thought was actually really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody from that gym brings up, hey, Billy Hope's here.
Yeah, the champ.
The champ, yeah. And Tick leaves the boxing ring and goes into his little office. And he goes, what is a champ like you doing here in my gym? And Billy goes, oh, I need I need a trainer, or I need a place to train.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, oh, I don't train professional boxers anymore.
It's like, I'm
Not
anymore.
I'm not anymore.
My
Have you
license
seen the
away.
news? Have you seen the news?
Yeah.
And he pulls out a magazine and he goes, yep, and throws it. He goes, I also need a trainer. He goes, nope, can't do it. And I just love how we were talking before we started recording was how standoffish Tick is.
Yeah.
And I liked it because that's true. You don't. I think for myself, if I was a professional boxer and I go up to like somebody here in town, like, hey, I need a trainer, and be like, there's way better people than me. Why are you coming up to me?
Yeah.
Like, so I think he portrayed like a normal boxing person.
Yeah. Well, and I think he also portrays this reluctancy to get involved because he's building these relationships with these kids.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I really like about this intro to his character is that he's working with the kids while he's, they're in the ring, they're sparring, and he's, coaching one of the kids through some drills, and the other kid is watching, and as soon as they finish up, he's like, all right, hey, Hoppy or Hop, whatever. I think it's Hoppy.
Hoppy, but they call him Hop, I think.
Yeah, he says, Hoppy, hop in and do this. And he's like, man, I already did that crap. And he's all,
What I tell you about
serious?
cussing?
He said, what I tell you about cussing? Give me 50, let's go. And like,
Which is good. Gives him discipline, and it's just like,
yeah, and well, you could tell immediately that this guy cares.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
he has a set of rules, and he doesn't let anybody slide on them. And
Yeah.
it's because he cares about them. He wants to see them grow
Mm-hmm.
and progress and in their their journey through life. And I like that he holds Billy to that same set of standards.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And is like, no, listen, there's no drinking, there's no drugs, there's no cursing. You're going to do anything I tell you to do when I tell you to do it, and all this stuff. And they start, Billy starts to kind of go along with it. And then I forget exactly what happened.
he
but
goes,
he's like,
he goes, I also need a job.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
he's
the-
like, oh, okay, well, my guy
Just got
got
sick,
injured or something
that.
like that. And, we need somebody to clean up the place around here. And he's all, you want me to scrub toilets?
I am.
Yeah, and then he's like, I'm out of here. F this, and leaves. And my immediate thought was like, bro, you need something.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Like, just take it, dude. It doesn't matter.
And
humble
And
yourself.
Tick
a bit.
even tells him, he goes, that'll take care of your fees for the gym, and you cut yourself a little check.
Yep,
And I feel like that's enough to prove to the court, at least, that you're making an effort.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't want to take it because he
Thinks he's better than that.
yeah, he's like, oh, I'm a champ. I'm 43-0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't deserve to scrub toilets. Nah,
Yeah.
dude.
That's part of the reason why I like Tick's character is because he serves as the symbol of his humbleness.
Mm.
Yes.
Where he literally starts from the lowest to the low, and then he has to build his way back up from Tick, and he solely relies on Tick's his style, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I like this boxing match is because you see him, he starts cleaning stuff, but as he's doing that, he's getting integrated with the gym, he's helping the kids spar and all that, and all the while he ends up actually training himself. And Tick comes up, and he always has these elaborate, like, he's like, oh, I know how you box, you don't know anything about defense, you're only offense. So
Yeah.
he's gonna work on his downfall. So he puts up this like rope, and he goes, don't even worry about punching, just duck, dodge,
Yeah.
weave between this. And we get to see him kind of like his talents
Yeah.
are growing,
Yeah.
right? And this guy ends up coming in and he says like, hey, we have a charity event coming up. You don't have to be a certified person to do it. We're just raising money, and you're a big name. You're gonna get a lot of hits. And they end up doing it, and I don't know. I love this fight. I actually think it's the best fight
Okay.
in the movie.
Okay. I think I could somewhat agree with you.
I will agree with you, and I will talk that I will talk about it after because it's something that didn't work for me.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I really enjoy the charity fight as well. I also enjoy before that guy that promotes the charity fight comes in, how Tick is making Billy spar with another one of the people that
And
are
not
in the
doing
gym.
anything.
And he's like,
fast.
yeah, and he's like, you can't hit him back.
Yeah.
Don't touch him with your gloves. You're just gonna dodge and use your head movement and all that stuff and do all this stuff. And he's like, you're gonna tell me I can't hit him? What do you mean I can't hit him? And he's like, yeah, I said what I said.
Yeah.
Don't touch him. And he
He
just
says,
comes in.
this
and
dude's like a gnat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, what did he say? Because he said some type of bug.
Yeah, it was funny to see that, to see him, get put in a predicament where he's not used to doing what he's, used to. He's used to just,
Which is
unloading
good.
on a person.
I mean, he needs it.
Exactly, and it's almost like we're watching a guy learn to box again.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
he's unlearning all these bad habits and actually learning how to defend himself and move and
And to
use people's mistakes to his advantage.
yeah, it's almost like his. Would you call that his ego? It's finally getting to him.
Yeah, well, and I also think like Tick is kind of just chipping away at it, and
Yeah.
it's like, I'm gonna humble you a bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let this guy wail on you. And You're not gonna touch him.
Yeah.
And I enjoy Tick as a character,
Yeah.
taking the time to do that and invest in him.
Yeah.
Mm.
And throughout this whole fight, you can see the techniques that he's learned come through.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
the charity event.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things I really enjoyed about the fight, was because you see him start doing the head movement,
Yeah.
and switching stances and stuff and everything, and I was like, he's a whole new fighter.
And
Yeah.
in that fight scene, you see, I think it's like after the round when they like are cleaning each other up.
Mhm.
Tick tells him like, you're doing good, like you're doing what I'm teaching you.
Yeah, he's
Keep
not
doing
even
what
cut
you're
up.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not even cut up.
That's the first time.
Yeah, usually at all the other boxing matches we've
Bro.
seen, he's leaking.
Yeah. He's like blood
Big
is
gash.
bound to happen when he's in the ring.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was cool. It felt more impressive just because it's not just someone going, ah.
Yeah.
It's someone like,
They're thinking about what's
Actually
happening.
using the technique.
Right.
yeah, you can. He says it too. It's not, boxing isn't here. It's here. It's like
Yeah.
a chess match.
Exactly.
And for him to actually see a change, it could have been easy to just shoot it like, oh look, he's just a better fighter now.
Yeah.
But you really see him ducking, dodging, just like that little rope thing.
Yeah.
You get to see that, and I think it was really a smart move to.
There were some of the shots in here where the other guys from the charity fight throws punches, and you see Billy move, and like
Yeah, it dodges.
it dodges, and
perfectly.
it's so nice to see that.
Yeah, there was moments when you see him dodging and using his head.
Tell me you
movement.
moved.
No. Whenever I see him
I was like,
miss,
oh.
I was all, ooh, yeah, he dodged that thing, and then comes in and starts, hitting the body and stuff and
Yeah.
everything. I was like, he's. A
I
whole
wish
new,
I
whole
wish
new
you said,
fighter.
man, I moved myself.
Yeah,
No.
he's a whole new person too, because once he goes to his corner, the dude straight up tells him like, "Hey, no, you're not trying to get blood. You're just trying to get points. Just some jabs, just light
Yeah.
Yeah,
jabs."
just jabs. Yeah.
And then again, he goes to the corner and he goes, "Okay, now's your time to shine. Like now you gotta like wail on him, get him,
Yeah.
get in there." And you can see that he's actually listening to
Yeah.
him. He actually is building this respect for him.
Mhm.
And I even like it too because, to bring it back to your scene where we get introduced to Tick, he says like, "Hey, one of the guys that I fought, he genuinely won. He won, but it was paid off. Well, I ended
well,
up
he
winning.
thinks
But
it was paid off.
yeah, he thinks it was paid off, whatever the circumstance was. But for his self, he's like, hey, I lost to a guy you trained, so I need you so I can become that.
Yeah.
You know
It
what I
also
mean?
just makes me think, like, obviously we don't know who trained him and how he was brought up,
Mhm.
but it makes me just think like whoever brought him into boxing was just like, just hit as hard as you can and knock him out.
Yeah.
And that's your way to win.
Yeah, or even using his anger as a tool, right? Like,
That's what it seems.
Yeah, I think Tick says something to the effect of like, you can use your anger, but that's not all that you need to use
Yeah.
whenever you're boxing. And I think he goes on to say like, boxing is up here. It's
Mhm.
not
Yeah.
in here. And I think that's something that like got really instilled in Billy in his early career, and that's why he wins all those fights, because of just sheer strength. And everything like that. But whenever
No
you get
strategy.
whenever you get somebody that knows what they're doing and can hold up against the pressure, his status crumbles.
Yep.
But yeah, my next and my last favorite scene is the last fight.
Yeah, it's
Me
mine.
as well. Yeah.
And you could talk about it, but I was just gonna wrote what I put about it.
Go ahead.
So I said, to me, it's super obvious that he was gonna win. Like I called it. Like
Well,
It's
it's
cliche.
obvious. It's super cliche.
It's that kind of movie.
But it also feels so deserving because Escobar is definitely not likable.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see him fail,
Yeah.
and that's solely only the reason why I liked it.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I put down that it's also rewarding the end because, that towards the end, whenever they lock up and he says something about his wife.
He goes, "She's not here to save you now, huh?"
Yeah.
And that makes him so mad.
Yeah.
Triggers
Honestly,
him.
that would trigger me too, though.
Yeah, and that was one of the things where I appreciated a little bit of nuance in the last fight because, he immediately is like angry and wants to use that anger, and Tick is like, calm down.
I love it, dude.
You need to take a moment, breathe, don't let him get in your head. That's all he's wanted to do. All he wants to do is get in your head, and if you
Yeah.
let him, you lose.
Yeah.
And I like that, he doesn't he kind of deflects it a little bit, lets it roll off his back, and it's just like, all right, I'm gonna finish this guy.
Yeah.
And I like that, he ends up switching his stance for the Southpaw stance and comes in with that uppercut. And
It's shot so beautifully.
yeah,
too.
It is.
And I love that, like,
Straight up.
when he does it, and it's all slow motion. You see the blood and the sweat kind of like arcing,
Yeah.
and him falling down is satisfying. You're like, heck yeah, dude! Like, you really took that, and it's fire whenever it happens. The only thing is, it immediately reminds me of like the Karate Kid.
Yes.
Like when he
Yeah.
has like
Doing
he's
the
like,
whole-
I got the secret move, the
Yeah,
crane kick,
yeah.
and then brings it out right at the end and wins.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a rewarding last fight.
And it's also deserving, rewarding, like you said, because after the fight, you actually get to see his daughter was there watching it on TV, and with the social worker, and finally, she goes, "Let's go home," just like the mom,
Yeah,
and you see the social worker leave, which to me is like, all right, she sees he's good enough to take care of his daughter, so that was also deserving.
Mm.
I thought.
okay.
So
I
that's why-
thought she
that was
came. I thought she came just to be like, because she kind of become a friend. Because he got.
I don't know.
He
I don't
got,
know.
He got. They started the reunification process.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah, they had been together for a while, but he was
Yeah.
always like, "No, Mom would never want you to come to these. She got scared." No, and then that was when, I was curious as to why the social worker was there.
Well, maybe because
There were some scenes too where I was like, "Are they trying to like set it up like where there will be
a couple.
have some sort of relationship later on?"
Mm.
Because you can see as he's in courtroom and he's doing all good, and you can see her like the camera shows her like smirking a little bit.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And I don't know if that was her just being like, okay, he's getting on track, or if it's
Yeah.
like,
That's what
Oh.
I took it
He's
as.
happy.
Like
he's succeeding.
That's what. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right.
no, they didn't do enough to
That's
do a
why- and that's
relationship
why-
thing, but
that's
she
what I'm
was
saying.
there.
Yeah.
She was at the fight, and I was like, oh, she realizes he's doing good. He's on track.
Mm-hmm.
I can leave him alone now.
Yeah.
And that's what I took it as.
Yeah, that's most likely what it is.
Okay.
So,
But
That's-
yeah, ending fight scene, I think it was exactly what you come for. I
Yep.
mean, you
Yeah.
you see a man's downfall and you see him overcome.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're gonna get in the ring. Our protagonist is gonna lose a little bit. He's gonna look shabby,
Yeah,
and he's gonna come out a little bit and shake the other guy up,
yeah.
and then it's gonna come down to who wins the fight at the
Yeah.
end.
Again, there was a little bit of nuance there too, which I liked. It was
It wasn't a knockout, right? It
No.
was like it came down to decision.
It did.
And it was a
Split
split
decision.
decision between
Yeah.
between judges who wins the fight.
and
Yeah.
honestly, those are the best fights.
Yeah.
And
when you're like, oh, who
Dude,
won?
who's-
Dude?
Because there's
He
some
got a
fights
good
where-
one, but he was getting wrecked in the
Yeah.
first few rounds. What's happening?
there's some fights
Exactly.
where I saw on pay-per-view where like, bro, who's gonna win? Like it would go the full 12 rounds, and I'm
yeah.
like, I would not know who would win. And I remember specifically a fight with Oscar De La Hoya and Manny Pacquiao,
Mm.
and I think this was one of his biggest losses,
Mm.
and this made my what's that word? I guess my love for Manny Pacquiao, like I like Manny Pacquiao as a fighter, grow, because I was like, there's no way he's gonna win,
Mm.
and then Oscar De La Hoya lost, and I was like, bro, no way! Like my family was big on him, so that's
Yeah.
why I was like, okay, I like him.
Yeah.
So That's why when it did the split decision, I liked it. At the
Yeah,
end.
it was not a very classic like, oh, he got knocked out. He was
Yeah.
Like a TKO or something.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, it's a genuine match. You know, it feels based in reality rather than like, yeah, I did it at the very end. And it was cool. It was cool too because they weren't like, they actually showed a little bit of that exhaustion where it showed him saying like, dude, I'm tired, and then it was the other guy saying,
It's like,
this
this
guy
guy hits hard,
He
man."
hits hard, man. I really like that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed seeing like that interaction in
Yeah.
the ring. I
Yeah.
was like, see, this seems real to me.
Yeah.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So
Exactly.
yeah, it was a pretty good last fight.
All right. Well, if that's it for our favorite scenes, let's move into some quotes.
Okay.
I only have one, and
Okay.
it's one of the scenes was he took some Advil.
Okay.
The one
the one
Yeah.
we've spoken about.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't write any quotes down. There wasn't really any that stuck out to
It's
me.
not very quotable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
Yeah. Looking back on it and kind of looking through IMDb and seeing what people wrote down as their memorable quotes, there's nothing that really stuck out to me as quotable.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
being like, oh man, that's from Southpaw.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
The only one I have, because it made me laugh, it was Tick talking to Billy, and he says, I'm going to introduce you to something you've never heard before. It's called defense. And I was like, dude, that's so true.
Yeah,
He's been
dude,
just getting
eating
smacked.
punches
Yeah.
just the whole time.
Yeah.
I know, I laughed. So that's
No, but this movie isn't quotable.
Okay.
So,
All
I
right.
could see.
Well, let's get into some bro moments then.
Okay.
I feel like there are quite a few here.
Yeah, I think I got like 6 or 7 of them.
yeah.
Okay. My first one is whenever we watch Billy win his first fight, or the first fight that we see as a watcher, he goes home, and the previous to then at that press conference, he's like, Layla, if you're watching this, go to bed. You shouldn't be watching this. Go to sleep.
Mhm.
And everyone kind of laughs. And he goes home, and as soon as he goes in, he's all, Layla! Layla! Just, it was like,
Bro.
she's asleep, bro.
Yeah.
like, you said go to bed, and then you're all, Layla! Like, trying to wake her up. It's like,
Yeah.
what counterintuitive? What is this? This doesn't make sense.
Yeah. That was
I,
funny.
I mean, it's kind of hopeful too, though, because like, I mean, as for me, if I had a daughter who was that age or a kid, essentially, be like, I would want to go see them after a big event like that.
Oh, yeah,
Like-
for sure.
But to be like, go in the house and start screaming their name, because you got to think, well, pay-per-view fights
It's late, man.
are late.
Yeah,
He's probably getting home like 12, 1 o'clock.
possibly, yeah.
So-
Depending on where the fight is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's.
Yeah.
I just imagine.
Yeah.
My bro moment is when he, after his wife dies, and he gets a gun and goes and like threatens that girl, that
Dude,
lady.
no, that's one of my biggest bro moments ever. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't know
Yeah,
exactly who that's
To
supposed
Hec-
to be. Is that
I
supposed to
want
be
to say
like
it's
Magic's
one of Hector's girls.
Hector though?
I don't
Who-
know who's Hector.
Yeah.
Why did I put Hector?
I don't know exactly. I don't know who she was. Was
Yeah.
it supposed to be
I thought it was
Magic's
supposed to be Magic's like girl,
girl
I
or
know,
something?
But
I just didn't understand why he was living in the project.
and why he
like-
knew his address.
Yeah, and also
plot holes, dude.
yeah. Well, like I don't know. Based on this is just based off his clothing, but based off of Miguel Escobar's clothing and him like
Doesn't seem like
presenting himself as like this like
He's
rich
well
guy.
off.
He's
He's
well,
well
off.
off.
Exactly. To have him go to the project, I was kind of like,
No, but my biggest
What a-
moment in that one was, I need a hit. All she
Dude.
cared about was, I need a hit.
yeah,
I'm like, dude, you got 3 or 4 kids in there. Care about those kids before you get a hit.
No, the
Yeah.
biggest bro moment is when he pulls the gun out and he goes, "Hey, where is he? Where is
yeah.
he?"
And then she grabs her kid.
She grabs her
I
kid.
got, I got babies.
I was
Yeah.
like, she's using the kid as a
As a
shield.
human
But
shield,
she
bro.
walks out of the house when he's walking away.
Yeah, she's like,
and she goes,
"Where's
I
the-
still
you
need a
going?"
hit.
was
I
like-
still need a hit. Bro, take
Yeah.
care of your kids.
Yeah, I don't know.
She's too
Part of
far
me,
gone.
I just didn't understand why that was in the
No,
movie.
I get you. I didn't understand that as well.
Yeah, I
Some
didn't.
Plot holes. There's some plot holes.
I didn't know whose girl she was supposed to be. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It could have been. Do you think that he truly believed one of his guys accidentally shot,
Yeah.
Possibly,
Marine?
Well,
and
because
he was going to one of his guys' house instead of Magic's?
maybe.
I don't know. Maybe that could be
maybe.
an option there. Who
I
knows?
don't know exactly.
Yeah.
It wasn't too clear.
Yeah. My next one is literally right after that. It's when he crashes the car into the tree.
Okay.
Yeah. My next one is when he gets into his first ring after his wife dies, and he headbutts the ref.
Yeah, that's fine.
Dude.
I was
Freaking shatters his
his
nose.
cheekbone. Yeah. Immediately whenever I saw him do that, I was like, "What did he do?"
Yeah, nothing.
He straight up headbutt the ref.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big bro moment for me.
Yeah.
My next one after that is whenever at this point Layla has gotten taken away, and Layla doesn't want to see Billy.
Dude.
He goes to.
She savages it right here.
Yeah, he goes to one of the visitations, and the social worker comes out and says she doesn't want to see you. You know, and I'm not just saying this. You know, I feel bad, but she doesn't want to see you, so I'm not going to let her see you.
Yeah.
Oh, is that
So
is that
hard.
yours?
Yeah, that was my bro moment.
Mine's
Okay.
right after that, and it's the next visitation. When he tells her that he's gonna fight for the first time,
Oh, and she gets all hyped.
and it's the charity fight, and she gets super hyped, but then she starts like, "I hate you! I hate
Yeah,
you!
smacking him.
I hate you!" And it's a big bro moment, and this is, I had mentioned to you guys that I don't like Layla,
Okay.
and I
You don't like because she's slapping your boy, huh?
no, I just don't like her acting. I don't like her acting is just bad.
Okay.
Fact.
Yeah.
Cause I see her face when she's smacking Billy, and she's like, "I hate you! I hate you! I hate you!" No emotion. Her face is so
She's a brick wall. Man.
literally no emotion. And then when they're like carrying her away, which I thought was like, bro, what? You don't gotta carry her away.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, she throws at the line, "I wish you had died instead of Mom."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's-
pretty wild. That was.
That's freaking crazy.
Yeah. As soon as I heard that, I was like, "Ooh."
She means it.
Dang.
You can.
Yeah.
There's some emotion
Well,
there.
Means it. I mean, she's probably gonna be like, "Damn, I should have said that."
Yeah.
Like,
But that was my moment, was seeing her hit in front of all those kids and parents as well.
Yeah.
freaking, that sucks.
Most
My
definitely.
my last one is finding out that Hoppy dies.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a big one.
I didn't expect it to hit as hard, but you know, seeing him and seeing Billy say like, "Hey, I'm worried about him," seeing Tig be like, "Yeah, you know, let's see what we could do," and then you see Tig fighting,
Hitting the
boxing,
bag.
hitting the bag, and then all of a sudden he just goes, "You know, Hoppy? Yeah, he's dead. He tried to protect his mom, and his father shot him."
Yeah.
I was like, "Dude, what the heck? I did not expect that."
Yeah. Me either. This was one of the scenes, or one of the only scenes that made me tear up, was Forrest Whitaker's acting in this,
Mm-hmm.
because you could just tell that he was like truly distraught
Yeah.
and really upset by one of his kids that he took under his wing being taken away from him.
And that's how you know he cares.
Yeah.
Like you said in the beginning, he cares about the people in his program.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where it got me tearing up, and I
Yeah.
was like, man, couldn't even imagine it.
Yeah.
It's rough. My last one is towards the end of the fight, whenever 50 Cent, we didn't talk about his
We
in this
didn't
movie.
talk about
Dude,
50
50
Cent.
Cent is-
He's
Curtis,
trash.
Curtis Jackson.
Hey, business first, dude.
He's trash.
Yeah, I was
was
gonna
like-
ask you because coming
No,
off
business first.
Coming off of
business
the
first.
social network.
yeah, I was
No,
gonna
I
say.
would still say business first.
So you side with
He's
him.
trash.
No, if I'm representing you, and you go down the drain, and he's doing better than you, and he needs someone to represent him, bye. I'm going to him.
He's
I
got to
need
have
money.
some kind of integrity, though.
I
He
need
literally built his career,
need money.
and his wife died.
I need money.
Yeah,
Business does not
You got to
stop.
be a human, though, not just a.
He said he was sorry. He said his condolences. He goes, "I can't do much for you. You got to." Billy messed himself up. Billy caused it. Your fault. Why'd you headbutt the ref?
Okay, but that's understandable.
Okay, and that's what caused the contract. You lost the contract.
Even before that, though, he was still kind of savaging him. He's like, "Oh, I just want to get him these fights. I just want to."
No,
do all
he was
this."
doing business. He's a businessman.
But you got to treat him like a human. They're still humans.
He
You can't
was.
just step all over them because they don't give you a dollar.
No,
They're
no.
still humans.
Sorry,
Yeah.
business first.
I'm a human first. I'm a human first.
Yeah, yeah.
I knew you guys were gonna bring that up too. I knew
trash.
It's
especially
just-
you were gonna bring it
It
up.
was interesting, man, because I immediately coming off the social network, I was like, I wonder how Abe will feel about this.
No, I don't like him, but I still respect him because business first, dude.
Okay.
You got to make a paycheck.
Okay.
I don't know. I'd rather do business with a man like Forrest Whitaker.
Bro, I need a drink
Yeah.
now.
Like
Me too.
take a straight up like, why are you gonna go back to this guy?
Take a sip. Take a sip of your big old Gatorade, bro. comically sized.
Yeah.
I'm thirsty.
But freaking Tick straight up goes, "Why are you gonna do business with him when you were down and he stepped right over you?"
Yeah.
I was like, "That's so true. He treated you like just a freaking dirty rag on the floor."
Yeah. It's
Sorry,
true.
sorry, bro.
But with that being said, it was a bro
I
moment
didn't think
whenever
we'd get into that.
it was a bro moment whenever we found out that Jackson, I think his name is, right? I think his name's Jackson. He only gives Billy 6 weeks to train.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, don't worry, you'll win the fight. I only give him 6 weeks." I was like, "Dang."
Yeah.
50 Cent's character?
Yeah.
His name is Jordan.
Jordan. I don't know why I was thinking Jackson.
Jordan Maines.
Jordan. He only gives him 6 weeks to train. And I was like, that's filthy. And that further proved the point to me that I was like, he didn't care about you.
Not at all.
Regardless of whether or
No,
not
he
he's
didn't.
business or
He's
not.
just trying to get that paycheck.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the only reason why he wants them to fight is so he can spin it like get
So he can-
revenge for the wife. You know, all that stuff.
He's like, it's going to be the biggest pay-per-view event ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's filthy.
It's filthy.
Yeah.
It's filthy.
I'm just laughing because you got heated right now.
No, we're all the good fun. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh, yeah, of course. It's just funny.
It's just a dumb movie.
Exactly.
I don't know, dude. Business first.
All right. That's it for bro
Yeah,
moments?
that's it for me.
All right. Let's get into some facts then.
Yeah, let me hit you with the budget. It took about $30 million to make this, which I thought blew my mind.
$30
$30
million?
million for this movie? I don't think there wasn't that much needed for this movie.
Well, and in 2015, too, I mean, I think that's
Do you think that's a small budget for 2015?
relatively small, maybe.
Doesn't blow
I
me
don't
I mean,
away.
there's movies that came out around that time that were made on even smaller budgets.
Oh,
that
sure.
are,
I
I
just
think better. But
I just thought it was a lot of money for a movie like this.
Sure.
But opening weekend, it made $16.7 million. Gross for U.S. and Canada made $52.4 million,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then worldwide $91.9 million.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's expected.
Exactly what's
expected.
expected. Yeah.
It's a
new-
movie.
It's a movie. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what you're getting going into it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I guess he's delivered
Many-
91 million worth.
Many moms walked out of that theater going, "Oh, that was the greatest movie."
Or maybe dads were like,
Yeah, being like,
"I'm gonna put you to boxing, son."
yeah, yeah, seriously.
You're gonna build character.
You know what's something funny?
Discipline.
I remember walking.
Spell that though for the talk.
Yeah,
I don't
seriously.
even know how.
I remember walking out of Creed and being like, "I'm gonna be a boxer, bro." Like when I watched Creed for the first time, this came out at the same time, and I
Yeah.
remember going to the theater to watch Creed because I love all the Rocky films. And when I watched it, I was like, "Bro, I love Creed. I want to walk out there and start boxing and all this
Yeah.
stuff." It hyped
I
me
ain't gonna
up.
lie. I watched this movie probably like 3 or 4 years ago. We had a boxing thing here going on in our town. Like a boxing gym.
Oh yeah, like years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 years ago. And I watched this movie and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna join that. And I never did.
Yeah. I'm guilty of. I'm kind of embarrassed, but after the movie, I went up to Lisa and I said, "What would you do if I looked like Jake Gyllenhaal?" And I was like
All
pretending to be
yoked.
pretending to flex on my freaking flaps and all that. But I was like, that's the one reason I watch these movies and I'm like, I wish I looked like that.
Man, I
Yeah.
love you for saying that.
I was like, man,
That's funny.
I fell into the trap.
That's funny. I think most people do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
I-
dude,
I-
I was
I'm
saying this is super off topic, but Miles Teller in the new Top Gun, I wish I looked like him. Oh my
That
god,
is
dude, people on TikTok are going crazy over
It's
it.
like, oh, that mustache.
bro! I
Yeah.
want him. I want a mustache
I don't
like
know,
that.
I don't like his mustache. In
I
Top
do.
Gun.
I just want a mustache
I
that's
don't-
like that.
It's weirdly high. Like,
Oh, is it?
Yeah, there are other pictures with Miles Teller having a mustache like naturally,
Mhm.
not for a role, and I'm like, I feel like it looks so much better. Like,
I don't know. I just think.
rather than just for the
I
role.
just think the nasty mustache without any beard or anything is funny,
No.
and I
okay.
want that.
I can't. I can't pull a mustache, man. I look like a freaking creep.
I like the mustache being prominent with a little facial
With
hair,
a
like
little bit,
stubble.
yeah.
yeah, But-
I can't grow a mustache. That's my problem.
yeah. I can't grow a thicker one, man. That's my problem as well. I need to get one of those little needle things.
Dude,
the-
I wanted a derma roller.
Derma roller.
I
Whatever
want
they
one.
are. Whatever they are. All right. Regardless, let's get back to the facts. So one of the facts that I have written down, and I'm sure all of us have as well, I think I mentioned last episode that this was like loosely
To 8 Mile.
It had Eminem somewhere involved with it, and I was
Yeah.
always like, is it just the music or
No,
something
man.
like that?
The
And
whole
then
freaking frame of the film.
exactly. I had found out that Eminem was originally scouted for the role. He accepted it and even started filming. And the film had to be put on hold because Eminem wanted to focus on his music. So the role was then given to Jake Gyllenhaal. And that the film was even originally considered as an unofficial follow-up to 8 Mile, with Eminem reprising his role. The script eventually evolved, and the idea was later scrapped. But
Yeah.
it's kind of insane to think about
Eminem as a boxer.
yeah, Eminem as a boxer training and all
You
this
only
stuff.
get
I could
one
see
shot.
him like,
Not
yeah,
miss a chance to
I could see
blow.
him like ad-libbing up there, going like, the napkin, you know what I mean? Like,
saying orange with the orange, orange.
I don't know. So in 8 Mile, was he ripped or?
No.
I imagine it being like.
I mean, he looked like Eminem. That's
But
He looked
whenever
like
I imagine
he
Eminem,
looked
I
like
think of a
Slim
dude.
Shady in his music video.
Okay, I think of a
Yeah.
dude with a beanie on with like, and he's like white and frail.
yeah.
I know he doesn't look like that now. He has actually. He
he's
looks
yoked
beef
now.
Yeah,
beef
he's,
now.
He's beefy. It would have been interesting to see him
Honestly.
get yoked.
It's fun. This is something funny too. Talking about casting, Ryan Gosling, Bradley Cooper, and Jeremy Renner were all considered for the role for Billy Hope.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I feel like they all could do it.
They could.
I just think of
Jeremy Renner, dude. Jeremy Renner would have been funny, man. I think that would have been funny.
He's done action roles before, but
Ryan Gosling, I feel like would be pretty cool to see.
Yeah,
he's got that
Because
nuance,
I
man. He
think
acts
of
with
him-
no.
he's got that facial act.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think he could have done it.
I think he could have done it. And then Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper's just ripped.
He's
He
Yeah.
could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have wanted him to just sound like Rocket the raccoon though the whole time. Imagine him sounded like that when he's fighting.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Okay.
Another one I have here, unless you got one.
I was just gonna say because I didn't know what Southpaw meant beforehand. So a
I mean,
fact.
it's about dogs, isn't it?
It's about yeah. Southpaw goes first. So it kind of is true. It's a term given to an unorthodox stance. So
Yes.
left-handed stance is not really orthodox. The reason why I have this down is because I was really blown away that this movie was really framed around Eminem, and this fact here is Jake Gyllenhaal is right-handed, therefore he's not really Southpaw. He only adopts Southpaw stance at the final fight after he gets instructed by Tick. Eminem was originally left-handed.
Oh, so this was like written for him.
He was literally written for him. He's left-handed. We played Southpaw. I was like, this is Eminem's movie.
Yeah.
And he just wasn't there.
Yeah.
But a little fact about what Southpaw truly means, and I think it's originated from baseball.
Okay.
Yes, it did.
So-
It's originated for all left-hand hitters when they're or pitchers, excuse me, because when they're pitching, the home plate's south of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
Interesting. I have another one here in regards to one of the songs that plays at the end of the film.
I think I have it.
So
too.
I immediately noticed it was a Frank Ocean song. I love Frank. That's my boy. And I was like, oh, I don't think I've heard this Frank Ocean song before. And it was originally written to be in Django Unchained.
What the heck?
Yeah, a Frank Ocean song at the end of Django Unchained. It's kind of wild to think about, honestly. But Quentin Tarantino wasn't able to find a scene to play the song in, so it was eventually scrapped from the final cut of the film and then was used here.
Wow.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
the heck?
So I had that one down. I have one that's kind of sad, and it's my last fact. So some of the prints of the film, at the end credits, you have in memory of our friend James Horner. James Horner was one of the persons who worked on the soundtrack.
Yeah, he was the composer.
He was the composer of the soundtrack. So he actually died a couple days before this movie actually was released due to a plane crash,
Yeah.
which is kind of sucks.
Yeah, I think he did.
Because he had some heavy hitters, I think.
Yeah, he did quite a bit of really good work. I think he did the Amazing Spider-Man soundtrack.
I'm looking it up right
Really?
now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he also did
That's iconic, too.
he did quite a few really great scores.
He did Titanic, Avatar, The Mask of Zorro, An American Tale, Spider-Man No Way Home,
Oh, wow.
What in the world?
Star Trek Enterprise, Romeo and Juliet. He did a lot. Holy cow, The
he's got
Amazing
some-
Spider-Man,
Yeah.
Got some
The
hits.
Karate Kid, the
That's
one that you
interesting.
talked about,
That's a link right there, dude.
The Spiderwick Chronicles. Let's go. I haven't heard that movie in so long.
Yeah. I used to love those books.
I did too. But yeah, he has a long list. So
Yeah. Rest in peace, James Horner.
dude,
Unfortunately,
man, The Land
yeah.
Before Time,
Yeah.
bro, that's sick. But yeah, I mean, rest in peace. But I saw that and I was like, man, So I think they dedicated. the
Yeah,
movie
they have
to
a
him.
they have a little dedication screen at the end that says "In loving memory of James Horner."
Yeah, and just a little bit of his character here. Antoine Fuqua had no money to pay him to compose the film due to the film's short budget. However, Horner did not care as he loved the idea of the film, and he decided to do it for free.
Bruh,
Yeah,
That's
which is-
that's wholesome.
That's
That's
wholesome.
awesome.
That's
cool.
really wholesome.
yeah,
That's super cool.
yeah. To get back to the lead real quick,
Okay.
Jake Gyllenhaal. I had read about his workout routine, dude.
Is it? Tell me, it doesn't seem reasonable.
It's reasonable when that's
When
the
you
only
got
thing
that's
you
the
do.
only thing you got to do.
He doesn't have a job, you
If-
know, so he could.
That is his job.
That is
Yeah.
his job. But if
Right.
you, like for us, if we had to do that throughout the day,
Did you read it though?
I didn't
Yeah.
read it. fully, I just-
2,000 of what?
Yeah, so it's for 5 months. Jake Gyllenhaal would do a daily routine of 2,000 sit-ups, 200 push-ups and squats, 100 pull-ups, and a 6-mile run to acquire the physique that he has.
How do you fit in 2,000 sit-ups?
Honestly, how the heck did he?
I mean, you probably break it up throughout the day, you know, like do like
Like,
500 here,
it just seems
50
so
here,
ridiculous, man.
500 here, maybe.
I just think about. Don't you think that would keep his weight down though? Because he gained weight for this movie.
Yeah, so I mean,
You
Maybe-
gain
so
muscle and
you
muscle
gain muscle mass and muscle. Yeah, when you gain weight, muscle weighs more than fat.
Yeah.
So if you're gaining muscle mass, you're
Mhm.
naturally going to weigh more.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes
That's like
sense.
people go to the gym and they're like, why am I not losing weight? Well, it's because you're putting on
You're putting on muscle
muscle.
and you're burning fat.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're looking trimmer, but you actually are getting bigger,
Yeah.
you know, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
that makes sense now. I get you.
Yeah, but that's it for the facts for me.
That's it for
Me
me.
as well.
Okay. What didn't work for this movie?
I have a couple things. Some of the music montages that they do just makes me cringe.
Yeah, I had written down the Eminem screaming, "I am phenomenal." I was like, no.
Yeah,
no.
and it's just, I don't know. It just takes me out of the movie. Maybe if it didn't have music and it just showed him working out or it just showed him what he was doing,
yeah.
it would have been way more effective,
Okay.
in my opinion.
I think, or either like, I
or
wish
different music taste.
I wish they kind of utilized the score
Mm-hmm.
more. Like I feel like the score only really plays like when traumatic or tragedy happens.
Yeah.
I wish like they brought in this like, oh, this is like triumphant, you know, and not this like boom like this style of rap that Eminem does. I don't know. It's almost the equivalent of like swag rock, where it's like boom, 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 boom. And then, you know, I immediately think of that song by Johnny Cash. It's like, you can run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. And it's like all boom claps and stuff and
Uh-huh.
everything. I think that's immediately what Eminem raps like.
Mm.
Oh, that's like his style of rap almost. I don't know. I
don't
know.
Have
I
you
know
heard
40.
the song "Lose Yourself," dude?
And that's the
Like-
thing. I used to, dude, listen. I used to love that song, but now it's been memed into oblivion, and now I'm like, I can't do it. It's corny, dude. Yeah, like
I get you though. It's just, I don't like. Maybe they should have used the score more, or just no music, or just a different type of music.
yeah,
And I just didn't like it.
yeah,
It just wasn't for me, and I wanted to almost skip it.
yeah.
It's just-
Like I
wasn't for
know,
me.
like I immediately think of Creed, which came out the same year. I think in one of the training montages, they straight up use a Future song, and whenever he's training, I'm all, oh, just listening to Future and watching him train. I think it's like off a Dirty Sprite too, and I'm sitting there just going, "This is fire, dude! I love this." And watching him just
Hey,
go in.
don't worry though. My boy The Weeknd was on this.
It was. It
Yeah, he's
was.
playing in the
I
background.
was singing to it, dude, because I was just like, this morning.
Yeah. He was in the background. I heard that.
Wicked Games, dude. That's
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that didn't work for me, other than that, was I didn't really like the way that they set up Billy being in debt. Like,
It's
It's very
stupid.
quick.
yeah, it's super quick.
It happened in like
And-
2 days.
Yeah, and I wish that they had set that up a bit more. Like, I immediately thought of, what if, you know, whenever he gets home from the fight or something like that, he sees like late payment notices or like, you know, like you
what
got
the heck is this?
Yeah, or like seeing that stuff and then being like, I just want some money, it'll be fine, you know,
Mm.
or something like that. Like, I wish that they kind of addressed it more, because just out of nowhere he's broke,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it's like, you're gonna lose the house.
It's like tragedy
gotta-
after tragedy.
Yeah, and I kind of wish that they just did more setup for
Yeah,
it.
that makes sense.
It's just I didn't like how it was just out of nowhere. He's like, "Oh, dude, I just won this big old fight." "Oh, you're broke, bro." It was like
The house gets
out of
taken
nowhere,
away, all
like,
the cars.
They already took some cars. Yeah.
Everything's going to auction.
exactly. And
Bro, I think one of the scenes when you brought up auction is there's this like moving company taking out everything. He goes, "It'll be up for auction, champ."
yeah. Or another thing I wish they would have done, maybe instead of like showing, debt notices or something, maybe Billy having this facade of wealth,
Oh, but it not being.
but it not being real, like him like renting cars or something, or him being behind on payments for the house and being like, "I got everything together. I just got you guys all these watches," and meanwhile he's like racking up credit card debt or something, and he's like not able to keep up with this lavish lifestyle that he's living. That would have been like, "Oh, dude, like,
Come
now,
on,
of
you're
course
paying
you're
yourself.
of course you're losing stuff, man. You have no way to back up all this lifestyle that you're living."
Yeah. And it makes sense too because 50 Cent's character, he says, "Hey, I got a deal for it's 3 fights for 10 million." And he
30 million.
so easily goes, "Oh no, I'm not gonna do it."
Yeah.
You would
But
think, hey, that's $30 million that you're just passing up. So he must have a lot of money
Exactly.
to just pass up 30 million like that. Yeah, they didn't really set it up.
Someone
a lot.
said, "Do 3 boxing matches right now for 30 million. I'd do it in a heartbeat. If I get my butt whooped, I don't care." Dude.
No, they said you have to last the 12 rounds.
You got to go the 12 rounds.
Okay, prop me up. I'll
like Ferris
Beat me to a
Bueller's.
pulp.
Bro,
Yeah,
bro,
beat me to a
pop-
pulp, bro.
yeah, prop me up. I'll
Weekend
do it
at
right
Bernie's, that thing.
Yeah,
dude. It's got to be
that's what I meant.
go-
Weekend at Bernie's. You're right. Just freaking put some shades on and just.
now. What if I won like that?
That'd be funny.
That'd be
bro.
great.
One thing that I didn't like was this was like a typical come up movie.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It felt very generic and formulated.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of the reviews on IMDb. This is the next Rocky,
No.
a modern day Rocky,
No.
and I was like, "What?"
No.
It has everything you've seen before.
Yes,
Yeah.
It's
it
just
has
like
everything
your
we've
very
seen.
typical like the guy falls, he builds himself back up, he wins.
Yeah.
And that's something that I didn't like, but it also kind of works
I mean, it does work for a movie.
for a movie.
Yeah.
like this. This is a movie that is going to be seen by the masses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are going to see this and be like, "Oh, I got to see that. That looks so good," and then walk out of the theater being like, "That was the best movie."
I also think maybe this is just me talking, but this is the Jake Gyllenhaal movie, and maybe a lot of people watched it because it's him.
For sure, or Rachel McAdams. Is
Yeah.
in it,
Yeah, Rachel
all that stuff, dude.
So, but
Yeah.
this is a typical come up movie. It's
Yeah.
very predictable. I
Yeah.
should
Yeah,
say.
that hits on one of my wider themes, which is I just don't think the writing is great
No.
in this.
Mhm.
I like I say, it's a little cliche. Well, I shouldn't say a little cliche.
Mostly cliche.
It is cliche to the max, like almost to its detriment.
Yes.
Like there are some points where in few films I enjoy a cliche, like I think like the Before trilogy.
Dude,
I love cliches in there, dude.
Sunset.
Exactly.
On
I'm
the
like
on the Ferris wheel.
exactly. I'm
You're
like,
like, oh come on.
I love it, dude. It's great. I love it. And then there's other instances where I'm like, couldn't you do something a little different?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I also just think like as a whole, like I said, the writing it just isn't that great in my opinion. A lot of the fight sequences, there's this weird like camera work shown where we don't get to see a lot of hits land.
No,
Like,
we
especially
don't.
in like the last
Or
fight.
we
like,
just hear them.
yeah, you hear them take place, but like the camera like gets a lot of the ropes in,
Mhm.
and you just see like bodies like just being like all this stuff. But I want to see it take place, man. Like and in like the
like
weird
a real
like,
boxing match.
yeah,
or
like the weird POV shots.
I hated those.
where it's like getting hit. I was like,
Yeah.
what is this, man? Like he's trying to integrate some of the things that he did on End of Watch like into
Yeah.
it as well, and I don't know. I wasn't really enjoying that bit of it as well.
Hmm.
I also was glad that Billy got humbled. Like I said, I think I may have mentioned this towards the beginning. I just immediately thought that he was like cocky
Yeah.
and a jerk, and I
Yeah.
was like, I wish you were a humble guy, And it was just like, hey, my opponent, he put up a great fight. I can only give him props and stuff like that. I'm not going to talk down on him. I'm not going to brag about my record or anything. 43-0 is a great number, but if you start being like, yeah, bro, 43-0, that's me, bro. Nobody's beating me. At some point,
And you know
that's
who
not-
I think exactly is like that? Floyd Mayweather.
Exactly, and it one way or another, when you get humbled, it's gonna come hard because people are gonna be like, "Oh, bro, what was all that talk and all this stuff and everything?" And you're just gonna be like, "Man,
It wasn't my day.
Exactly.
Nah,
You're
man.
gonna
You just
You're gonna
got
have
your
to-
stuff handed to you, and now you realize you're not the stuff.
exactly." And I kind of wish that Billy's character was like a humble kid, but he's very braggadocious and
Yeah.
flexes a lot and does all this stuff and everything. And then whenever I see him start to get humbled, I'm kind of like,
Yep, you had it coming.
you kind of were asking for it a little bit,
Yeah.
man.
Fair.
Yeah.
The last thing that I wrote down that I didn't like was I did not like Layla's acting at all.
Yeah.
Any scene with Layla,
Some
I
of her
could-
dialogue is bad.
yes,
It is
it's
bad.
It's bad. And her as a character, I just didn't like. She didn't show any emotion. And maybe it's like I know this is one of Nick's problems that he doesn't like in movies is kid actors.
Fact. Hey, he's not wrong. He's really not wrong.
It's hard to get a good kid
It's
actor.
hard to get a good actor. And it's just, I don't know. She maybe could have put more oomph into that, but didn't.
I think it comes down to the writing because there's usually generally two ways that they do it, where it's like a kid is so overly obnoxiously kid,
Dude, 'cause
right? Which I don't like, and then they're so like they push them way into the other direction where they're so much like a little adult.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and it feels forced.
it feels forced. It feels like this kid is so wise for their age.
Exactly.
They're not acting like kids anymore when they should be.
Yep.
Exactly.
So it's really hard to find the balance, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And they kind of went a little bit to the whole, oh, I'm so wise. I'm just the genius. Spell hopelessness. HOPELESS. You know what I mean? I was like,
that was
I was
one
like,
of
"Ugh."
that was
Yeah,
one of the
and
things I
it's-
did not like.
Like, like I said, it's just I didn't like her, and it's maybe like it probably is the writing, honestly, but she did not succeed. She did not put what I needed in that movie.
Yeah.
Didn't really land for me.
No offense to her acting or anything. It's just wasn't it.
Yeah. Hopefully she'll get better as she gets older.
Yeah, I haven't. I looked her up and I don't see her in anything.
Savage.
All
You
right.
shouldn't stay there.
Well, if that's it for what didn't work, what did work for this movie?
Immediately I just think of some of the sick shots that there is on here.
Okay.
Yeah. So some of the filming is good, some of the filming is bad.
Yeah, some of the cinematography is pretty cool.
It's
It's
cool.
I genuinely like the fight scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what it brings me back to. Like I was talking to you guys actually, was the scene where he dodges a punch and you see like the glove coming at him.
Yeah.
That's like super cool because you see him move and you just see the glove
Yeah.
right there. And I really like that. And I'm like, oh, that'd be like a sick shot.
Yeah.
And just things like that. So
Yeah.
some of this film, I don't know what I'm talking about. Some of the shots were just amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not all of them.
I will say this is one of the times where I really enjoyed slow-mo. Usually I'm like, yeah, slow-mo, whatever. But
It's kind of gimmicky.
yeah, it is kind of gimmicky. But here I was like, it's showing the spit coming out. It felt like it was belonged to
Needed?
this movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
it felt needed almost because you see that it could be a quick shot and we would still be like, oh, cool. But you see the spit coming out. You see the connect of the jaw. And I was like, I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the times where I was like, okay, I'm glad the slow-mo is right here because I get to really experience this moment. you
Yeah.
know?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I have to say, I think the fight choreography
Yeah.
shines here. The fights feel real,
Mhm.
and they feel like punches are actually landing. And I think that the choreography going into all of those fight sequences is really great.
Mhm.
I again, to kind of pull another analogy to Creed, I saw a behind the scenes footage of him getting knocked.
Yeah.
And the way that they do it, man, like they practice it a couple of times and then you hear him go, action, and they go to do it and he goes, and it looks insanely real. It's crazy. You see like the sweat come off. and all
Michael B.
that stuff.
Jordan, dude. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
And they do a lot of similar things here with the fights in this, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it.
Yeah.
I also have to say acting.
Yeah.
And
Acting for Forrest Whitaker and Jake Gyllenhaal.
And this is what I was going to say.
Specifically, they freaking
exactly,
kill
you hit
it.
the nail on the head for me. Was Forrest Whitaker kills it, Jake Gyllenhaal kills it, and I reading through the casting, like I don't know if other people would have worked,
Mm.
and I like that because I haven't seen Forrest Whitaker in a lot of movies.
That's awesome.
I know you like him because you like him in
Forrest.
Ghost Dog, right?
Ghost Dog, he's good.
But he looks like he's putting his whole heart in this.
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal always does it, and that's something that I love about it. So when you saying that just solidifies it for me even more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They give 110%.
Yeah.
And I think that they have a great chemistry.
They
with
do. They so do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed their chemistry, and it felt natural. And that's something that is really rare sometimes whenever you have two big name actors.
Well, even Rachel McAdams, although she was in it for like 10 minutes,
Yeah.
she still did good.
Yeah, she wasn't bad. I mean, she was exactly what she was supposed to be, his love interest. She kind of challenged him a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah, you think you can go... Nah, never mind. I was going to say something stupid.
You think you're the 2 rounds?
And
what
she's
he
trying to
was
go
about to say.
burp, burp,
Then that's when Wicked Games comes on, dude.
dude.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. But
I wasn't going to say it. He said it.
Rachel McAdams.
Yeah.
I think they all kind of fit their roles pretty
Yeah, they
perfectly.
did.
Yeah.
And that's what worked.
It did
They
work.
fit.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I'd come back to it, is just to see, Forrest Whitaker open up emotionally, and to see Jake Gyllenhaal just rage and out in emotion and all that stuff
Yeah.
is something that definitely works for me here.
All right. Anything else for what did work?
I think that's it for me.
Yeah, that's about it for me as well.
Sam.
Okay.
All right. What are some themes?
Okay, let me go first because I
I
wanted to
have one
put.
theme.
Well, hold on. I'll put this one verbatim how it says on Apple TV. That was really funny.
Okay.
It says, "Sometimes your biggest enemy is you."
Oh,
And I saw that and I was like, "Yo, that's perfect."
man.
I feel dumb. I feel dumb saying mine now.
Oh,
Mine
man.
says, and I didn't read anything about themes or anything. Mine,
Sure.
what I wrote down was what you go through can definitely make you stronger,
Oh, true.
but
Okay.
it may slow you down.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah.
It may slow you down a little bit, but you can use it to your advantage.
Yeah.
And I say that because I'm not trying to get like sob story, but like my life was not the best. I had a really crappy life, and like where I'm at now, I've never would have thought I would be now.
Mm.
So just knowing what I've gone through and where I'm at now, that only makes me stronger.
Yeah.
And so that's seeing that, like, obviously he had some tragedy. He was at the tippy top where he thought, and he went down to the low, and now he's climbing back up.
Mm.
And that's what's helping him.
yeah.
like,
for
So
sure.
that's what I wrote it down. It kind of compared it to mine, but I was just like, that's what I took out of it.
Nice. I put down mom spaghetti.
No, you're lying.
It's true.
So you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow.
Oh,
This opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
that fits it perfect.
Yeah.
We should have just end right there.
Who wins this movie?
For me, Forrest Whitaker all day.
I put Jake Gyllenhaal.
Good.
Forrest Whitaker does. Don't get me wrong. I do think about him in this movie,
Mm.
but I think it's just because my love for Jake. I have to put him. down.
Shines.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm also going to say Forrest. I really enjoy his
I
character.
respect it.
And it kind of blows my mind that he only comes in like halfway through the movie because
Yeah.
I wish he was in it more.
He
Yeah.
comes in. I read a fact that he comes in at 52 minutes in the movie, and this is a 2-hour movie.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed his performance in this, so I think he wins that for me.
For sure.
What are we rating this?
I gave him a 6.5.
6.5. Okay. I'm going to give it a 6.
Yeah, I'm echoing you, giving it a 6 as well. Although
Okay.
the good doesn't really outweigh the bad.
Yeah.
6 is for formula.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
It was a good movie, but
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, like, a 5 would be like,
yeah,
a
I
it's,
six
think
is like,
anything
yeah,
above a 5, you
it was
enjoyed
good.
it a bit,
It was
but
good.
it has its flaws.
it's formulaic. You can kind of tell what's going to happen and
Yeah.
all that stuff. And
Yeah.
I think that's a nice, solid, even number. 6.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if that's it for the episode, I think that is it for the episode. So, thank you guys for tuning in and sticking with us all the way to the end. We do appreciate it. Make sure that you guys are liking the videos, commenting, subscribing. We've seen a lot more interaction on the YouTube channel,
Seriously,
which has been
yeah.
awesome. So we
Did
really
you-
do appreciate that.
Did you see that Shark Boy and Lava Girl has 1,000 views?
that's crazy.
Yeah,
It blows my mind.
Yeah, our most viewed episode is a movie that we just crap on.
We just literally us laughing the entire time.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe the reason why.
Maybe.
People like to let it load off and just laugh.
Yeah. But it's been awesome to see the interaction on YouTube
Yeah.
as well as on the podcast apps like Apple and Spotify
Yeah.
and Google and all that stuff. We really do appreciate it. If you guys can continue to do so,
Sure.
liking, subscribing, rating, reviewing the shows, it helps us out a lot and lets us know that you guys are liking that stuff, what we could do better possibly, what we can do more of to,
Mhm.
just continue to build this thing. It's really interesting to see the episodes that do well and then the others that don't do so well. And it helps us kind of, shape what we want this thing to be. So
Sure. Yeah.
we really appreciate it. But as always, you can follow us on everything. We've got all of our methods of contact in every episode description: Instagram, TikTok. We got Letterboxd, an email you guys can send stuff to, all that stuff. Everything gets read. So it's really, really cool, again, just to see you guys interacting with this stuff and just seeing this little community that we have, be known and make themselves known.
For sure. Yeah.
Very cool. But other than that,
You're next.
yes, it is my pick. And we're going to be doing a movie that is not in English.
Yes.
It is a French film that came out in 94 or 95.
Let's find out.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
This movie is incredible. I've seen it once on your recommendation, and I'm so glad I did it. It's 1995.
95. Okay. This movie, again, is in French. I don't believe it is streaming anywhere, unfortunately, which is another one you're going to have to rent. I luckily own this.
I might have to borrow
Criterion.
it.
Yeah.
You can borrow it. It's you can borrow it and watch it however many times you want because I think it's that great. It's a black and white movie as well. So if you're not a fan of foreign films, if you're not a fan of black and white movies, then maybe this might not be your pick. But it is a really great movie. I recommend it.
Wow.
It is called...
Based on a true story I just read.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
The plot is based on a true story of a 16-year-old who died.
That is interesting.
Did
That'll
not
be
know that.
that'll be something to bring up on the pod
For
next
sure.
week then.
Yeah.
This movie is, without further ado, called La Haine. It's spelled Lahaine.
Mm-hmm.
And it also translates, La Haine is French for hatred. And it is a really impactful movie. It is one that I think once you've watched it, you'll never forget it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's one that is packed with so much symbolism and, metaphor and all this stuff that makes cinema so great to me. It's just jam-packed, full of all that stuff, and it just leaves it for you to unpack it and take what you will from it. And I really enjoy it. This will be my third time watching, and I'm really excited to get back into it because I've been wanting to rewatch it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So go check out La Haine and then come back next week and see what we have to say about that movie. As always, this has been the Film Bros Podcast. Thank you, and good night.
Good night.
Good night.